Now, your 21 Alive First Alert Forecast, brought to you by Groundworks.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's First Alert meteorologist Michael Moranelli here. Just want to give another quick update on your forecast here on this Monday morning, where at least for some nice sunny skies. I know maybe a little bit of a cloudy start, but then the sun came out, looks very nice. And in terms of just current conditions right now, very seasonal, sitting at 31 degrees. Today will be the coolest day of the week, so don't worry about a little bit of a cold start. That cloud coverage still continuing to push farther south, which means plenty of clear skies to enjoy through the rest of the day today. And just maybe even a wider look here. Now, luckily, again, we had talked about the potential of a system that could be very impactful heading into this morning. And yet again, it stayed to the south. Here is that system. Plenty of rain and even freezing rain now. The temperatures are warming up just off to our south down towards Cincinnati and throughout West Virginia. And luckily, no concern to us. We will stay dry through the rest of the day today, but that really won't be the case afterwards. We expect plenty of not only the cloud coverage building up, but also plenty of rain showers in the forecast. So your forecast for the day today definitely does not look too bad when you consider that there's a lot of rain in the forecast. It will stay seasonal, with highs into the lower 40s, some sun at least through the start of the lunch hour. Probably start to see that cloud coverage building up throughout the afternoon, with temperatures staying, again, very seasonal today. Now, heading into the rest of the week, what else are we watching? Well, of course, it was a cooler start with seasonal highs today. But later on in the week, we expect temperatures to warm up. High temperatures back in the 60s by the end of the week. And we expect a pretty long string of highs in the 60s heading in towards the end of the week and the weekend. So what else are we watching outside of just warming temperatures? Well, on and off rain, pretty much rain each and every day from now up and through out the end of the week and the weekend. We pretty much have a great chance for rain starting tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll probably start to see that rain calming down on Sunday, with the driest potentially looking day would be Friday right now outside of just today. So both Friday and Sunday, we do have the chance to see some rain, but it might not be as widespread as the rest of the week. So let's take a look at all of these rain chances. I know there was going to be a lot to talk about this week when it comes to the rain in the forecast. First, we're dry today. That cloud coverage starts to build up late in the afternoon, heading in towards dinner time, pretty much continuing on from there. And at this point, enjoy the last few hours of sun that we have today, because there's not really going to be much left, unfortunately. This cloud coverage builds up, and then we're pretty much going to go one after another in terms of these rain chances. So there's going to be plenty of cloud coverage through the rest of the week. We could start to see maybe a few isolated freezing rain showers heading into tomorrow morning. They do look to be very, very isolated. You can see maybe one or two that are hanging around on the future track right now. We do not expect to see a lot of freezing rain. There could be a chance for some, but it's not going to be to the point where we're expecting icy roads everywhere. So if there are a few freezing rain showers tomorrow morning, those that would be the easiest, the easiest that are impacted would be, of course, bridges, ramps, overpasses. Those areas that freeze the easiest will be the easiest areas that could be affected by the freezing rain. We're not expecting widespread freezing rain that would impact local roads and highways and main roads, and we're not expecting to see that again. It might be a few very light rounds of freezing rain before those temperatures heat up and pretty much move us into what the rest of the week will look like, which is pretty much exactly like what we will see late tomorrow morning, continuing on into the afternoon, and that's just more rain in the forecast. So we expect rain showers to move in late tomorrow morning, continue on through the lunch hour. We'll probably dry out in the afternoon, get a little bit of a break. Then heading into Wednesday, we should stay dry through the morning, most of that rain staying to our south. But then heading into the later portions of the day Wednesday, we start to see the increase of maybe a few later rain showers. So again, we're not expecting widespread rain from Tuesday all the way through the end of the week nonstop. There will be a lot of dry time this week, but even with it, we're expecting at least a rain chance each and every day from now through the end of the week. So what does the rest of the week look like? Because, of course, our higher res our high resolution models only go out so far, so we're already looking out into Thursday evening here. We're not really going to go out much further than that. So let's shift over and look at some of the longer range forecasts for Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. So first of all, we expect another line of rain to arrive through Thursday, and these longer range models will make it seem like we expect rain for a longer time, and I will emphasize yet again, we do expect to see some dry time, so don't worry if these blobs make it seem like rain will pretty much not stop from Thursday all the way through the weekend. There will be some dry time. There will be some rounds of just some scattered rain showers. It's not all going to be consistent from Thursday all the way into the weekend. So we do expect to see probably the biggest system arrive on Thursday, which could mean an elongated time of rain, but maybe not all day, widespread, nonstop. We're again not worrying about that as much, and we can definitely see like heading into Friday, we are expected to dry out a little bit. There could be, a few scattered showers here and there, and this pretty much shows that, yeah, this is probably the worst. That even this, the future tracks, the longer range ones, show maybe a little bit too much even still. Like we're probably only expecting a few lighter showers through the day on Wednesday or on Friday. Friday seems to be probably the calmest day of the work week outside of today when it comes to rain. Even then, we probably, again, we'll see a few passing showers here and there. And when we get into the range of the higher resolution models, of course, we wouldn't be showing these longer range models. But this just gives you an idea of what we can expect for the end of the week. And that is just a few off and on periods of rain. We'll see another system cross on Saturday. That should bring us some rain, but it's trending a little bit lighter. So overall, we're just going to deal with a lot of these different quick bursts of rain and maybe only 1 or 2 rounds of some heavier, elongated periods of rain, but we're not expecting just nonstop rain from now all the way into the weekend. So there's not much to worry about on that front, and really the rain is actually great news for the area because most of the snow that's been received so far, of course, only equals about 10 inches of snow is 1 inch of rain, and even in some cases, especially when we had some of that heavier snow a couple weeks ago, it was more like 20 inches of snow equals 1 inch of rain. So it's not a lot of water that's actually being recorded, and all that snow has not really helped our drought conditions whatsoever. We're so dry, the ground is frozen, and we'll start to see temperatures warming up, which will help out with those ground conditions, at least in terms of how dry and how frozen they are. We'll start to see that warmer temperatures in the rain will start to soften up the ground a little bit. And by the time we get to the end of the week, we're talking about maybe an inch to even 2.5 inches of rain over the next 7 days, which is a feat that really, when you look at it, since the start of the year, we have not really recorded that much. Since the start of December last year, we only recorded about 3 to 3.5 inches of rain. So we're talking about almost the last 3 months worth, the whole span of what meteorological winter is, which is December, January, and February as a whole. Pretty much, we are expecting to record about the same amount of rain over the next week that we did over the last 3 months. So very, very good news to receive that much rain. We don't want to receive it, again, all at once. So these quick little bursts will definitely help because we don't want to deal with any kind of flooding issues, especially when the ground is so dry. But it's still not going to fix our drought conditions. We need at least about another 9.5 to 10 inches here in Fort Wayne to end the drought. For portions of Northwest Ohio, that's probably closer to about 10.5 to 11 inches of rain over the span of a month to completely end the drought. So yes, 2 to 3 inches of rain will definitely help out the drought conditions, but it's not going to fully solve the issue. We need at least 2 or 3 more weeks of pretty much the same thing that we're expecting this week to happen to actually fully fix the drought. So we can receive any amount of rain that would kind of put us in the right direction as we near spring to start to see drought conditions improve. We'll take it as a win, but it's still going to take a lot more rain than that. And we more than likely will enter the spring season here, at least in a severe drought, potentially even upwards to that extreme drought. So we'll keep an eye out, especially throughout the week, of how these rain showers are performing versus what the models are suggesting. But yeah, more rain, definitely still a good thing. plenty of farmers out there definitely want to see some kind of improvements because we've pretty much been under these drought conditions since the end of August, beginning of September. How bad the drought has been has pretty much started by then. So we are now starting to look at least about 6 months that we have dealt with this drought. Now, granted, some of it is through the winter time, but now that we're entering spring and conditions really have not improved, we definitely want to see some improvements. And we'll finally start to see some with a little bit of an active pattern here this week. And looking at the rest of your First Alert 7-day forecast, it really does not look too bad. Again, today, the coldest day of the week, and temperatures will probably drop right around freezing, which is why we could see that freezing rain. 30, 31, 32 degrees will probably just be on that threshold for some early freezing rain. Outside of that, pretty much just rain chances each and every day throughout the rest of the week. Those temperatures continue to climb. So mid-40s today and tomorrow. We'll probably stay more on the lower end depending on when that cloud coverage builds up today. If we stay sunny through the start of the afternoon, we could potentially make a run again as high as the mid-40s. We'll probably stay mid-40s today, tomorrow. And even with that cloud coverage, highs are back up into the 50s on Wednesday. 60s, potentially the upper 60s by Friday. So we have at least a string of 3 straight 60-degree days, could potentially go longer than that, but we are expecting to stay warm not only just through the end of the week, but heading into next week as well. Even on Sunday, as we, if you see there, spring forward, daylight saving time, we do expect temperatures to stay into the 50s for Sunday. Now, Sunday also trending to be probably the driest day after today. But plenty of rain in the forecast, plenty of warmer temperatures in the forecast. You can't really complain when it comes at least to that. Now, what is in store beyond that? Hopefully some models have been putting more rain in the forecast, especially heading on into next week as well. That would only help our drought conditions more. It's definitely something that we will keep an eye on. But overall, there's not really much that you have to worry about with the rain. It's just going to be a little bit of a wet week, but at least those temperatures are on the rise. We're not going to deal with, any snow or some cooler temperatures. We only have one day where temperatures are expected below freezing. That'll be heading into tomorrow morning. Outside of that, we're trending above freezing. So our average high is now into the lower 40s, so we're staying above average by even as much as about 15 degrees by Friday. It looks like a very nice week. We're going to hope that that will continue, and we're going to hope that we start to see some improvements on those drought conditions. And of course, for the absolute latest forecast, you can join me in about 25 minutes on 21 Alive News at noon. I'll also be on at 4 up until, of course, Chief Meteorologist Matt Leach gets in for the rest of the night after that. Again, I'm going to be trying doing some of these live updates here and there almost every day, sometime between 11 and 11:30 here before the new newscast. So make sure to join me tomorrow for our next live stream here on the 21 Alive Digital Desk. Of course, have a great day, and I'll see you at noon.